Breaking news for you from Tigray, where unusual movement of Tigray military is being witnessed. Through some sources, I have received this information. In which zone of Tigray is it happening? What is the goal of Tigray military? What does Tigray military want to achieve through military mobilization and relocation in this area? Thank you for watching the channel, viewers. Good to be with you. Before this news story, just a quick news story from the US. US government has imposed a 250 US dollar additional visa fee for African travelers. If anyone wants to travel to the US from Africa on a non-immigrant visa, uh, visit visa, study visa, etc., he'll have to pay $250 additional fees. This new fee is being called visa integrity fee. Now, the point is that European countries, some Asian countries are exempt from this fee. Only African countries will have to pay the fee. Africa is not the richest continent in terms of wealth, but Trump government knows that African travelers visit US a lot, especially keeping in with the fact that next year FIFA World Cup will be organized in the US, then Summer Olympics in 2028. So African visitors, African people visit the US. US has found another way of minting money from African leaders, African people rather. African leaders are very keen to sit on the lap of Donald Trump, the US president. But Trump wants to extract as much as he can from Africa. Now back to main news story, viewers, which is from Tigray. Unusual military movements have been confirmed by my sources in a zone in Tigray. You'll see the result of these movements in coming days. When will Tigray military strike? That remains to be seen. But obviously, there is a plan behind such movements. I'm talking about southern Tigray, which is under the control of anti-TPLF government. Avtokiros is the zonal administrator here, appointed by Gita Choreda, former president of Tigray. TPLF and top tier of Tigray military want to remove Avtokiros, and they want new government in the area, in this zone. But in neighboring Afar region, TPF fighters have been threatening Tigray military, warning Tigray military against any attempt to dismantle Avtokiros-led government in southern Tigray. Now, what we have confirmed is that new military units, TDF military units, are entering southern Tigray from Calais. The units are being deployed to several towns and in the outskirts of several towns in southern Tigray. And there are three main goals reportedly behind this new military deployment in southern Tigray. Firstly, TPF, Tigray military wants to ensure that the TPF should not be able to enter Tigray in large numbers. That is why part of new military reinforcements are being deployed towards Afar border. Secondly, a decision has been made to dismantle Haftokiros-led government. When will the decision be implemented? That remains to be seen. Just like last year, I reported that a decision had been made to remove Getachew from power. Tigray military and TPLF had made the decision last year. But it took several months to implement the decision because they feared that people could rise and Getachew supporters could start an armed movement and ENDF could be mobilized towards Tigray. They struck a deal with Eritrea. They took Eritrea on board. Then they waited for the right time and they then struck in March this year. Uh, the same sources are reporting that decision has been made to remove Hafto Kiros government from southern Tigray. Tigray military is waiting for the right time. When will it strike? That remains to be seen. So the second purpose behind new military deployment in southern Tigray is a likely attempt to dismantle Hafto Kiros led government. There is definitely a third goal too behind the military deployment, TDF deployment in southern Tigray. TDF is operating in the area. ENDF is also here in southern Tigray, especially in Alamata. In other parts of southern Tigray, there is a significant presence of the Ethiopian National Defense Force. There is no such large-scale presence of ENDF in other parts of Tigray. But in southern Tigray, there is a significant presence of the ENDF because ENDF helped TDF when TDF dismantled Amhara provisional government in southern Tigray. ENDF did not withdraw from southern Tigray. It is there. Now, when tensions are rising between Tigray government and the federal government, and federal government wants deployment of federal forces to Tigray, EDF wants to outnumber ENDF in the area. EDF wants to ensure that in case of any escalation between Tigray government and federal government, between Tigray forces and federal forces, ENDF in southern Tigray should not be in a position to outnumber Tigray fighters and to march towards Mekelle because ENDF in the area could be supported by TPF from the Afar region. That is why new military deployment in southern Tigray is happening. Johannes John Mended, General Johannes, is leading the military activities in the region. TPF people are very critical of General Johannes. They say he is pro TPLF. He is basically a TPLF man and he is implementing the agenda of the TPLF. So I see coming days very critical with regard to situation in Volkite, with regards to the situation in southern Tigray. So Tigray military's mobilization is now happening in two directions. Towards Volkite, which we confirmed, towards southern Tigray, again we confirmed, and towards Eritrea too, that too we confirmed. Tigray military entered Eritrea too. What will they do there? Will they launch joint attack on Volkite, or are they going to be sent to Sudan through Eritrea, or they're going to be trained there? I mentioned these points in that video. All that remains to be seen. But Tigray military's movements in three directions are being reported by people from the area. Thanks for watching.